Dear anti-CCP Chinese people, my name is Jean Robin. I'm a French patriot and I've been a journalist, an independent journalist, for 15 years. I have written 43 books, thousands of articles, and made hundreds of videos like this one. Through this short video, I want to address to you, both in English and subtitled in Chinese, a message of hope. You are not alone. Patriots all around the world, and especially in France, are watching your just, brave and noble fight against the most evil party in the world, the Chinese Communist Party. We have seen you on social media and in demonstrations in front of Chinese consulates and embassies in the US, in Germany, in France, in Canada and many other countries. You are a real inspiration for us French patriots who know that the CCP unleashed the CCP virus on the world and killed over 1 million people, including over 30,000 French people, and ruined the worldwide economy and trust. You have reminded us that we should not be divided against each other, whether in the US or in France, but we should target the CCP and its collaborators all around the world, for they are responsible of the pandemics and all of its consequences. As a journalist, I've been investigating since March 2020 the role of the CCP in this pandemic, and I came to the conclusion that the CCP is 100% responsible for this pandemic and all of its consequences. It was a biological attack, launched intentionally on the whole world to make it weaker and in order to conquer it. This biological attack was part of the unrestricted warfare that they invented, which is a terrorist strategy that can turn anything into a weapon and make it a weapon of mass destruction. Viruses, face masks, water, rare earth, you name it. In France, some of us have already understood what is going on and who to blame: the CCP and its allies of the French state, the French media and the French intellectuals. However, a few people, like Professor Montagnier, a French co-discoverer of the HIV and Nobel Prize of Medicine, was one of the first scientists in the world to warn about this man-made virus and denounced the CCP for having lied to its people and to the rest of the world about just everything about this virus, its transmission and the rest. He is our hero. And you also have your heroes, namely Miles Guo, Dr. Li Menliang, Hao Aidong, and many others. I want to say to all of you brave and courageous people who fight for the establishment of a new federal state of China, that Free France is with you, supports you, and will help you in any way possible. We, obviously, have our own struggles, since our country has been stolen 15 years ago by the same people who are the running dogs of the CCP. In 2005, the French people voted no in a referendum against the European Treaty, but the French state and the French media imposed it on us anyway. Since then, France is not a democracy, and the elections are fake. This act of treason was made by the same people who opened France to the CCP, and especially Jean-Pierre Raffarin, who has been a close friend of the CCP for a very long time. Jacques Chirac named him Prime Minister in 2003 and therefore formalized the collaboration between the French state and the CCP. The French state gave the CCP our nuclear secrets, our biological secrets, and helped the CCP impose on the Chinese people the worst laws on the planet. Recently, CCP implemented a civil code which was mostly done by French collaborators. At the same time, the French state welcomed many Confucius institutes, Huawei, and many other parts of the United Front. The so-called right-wing party, UMP, even signed a deal with the CCP in 2009. Emmanuel Macron met with Xi Jinping once a year since 2017. And even though the CCP virus killed over 30,000 French people, he received Wang Yi with great honors. He's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of China, as you know. It's the equivalent of Daladier meeting with Nazi Ribbentrop in 1938 in Munich. Even Merkel in Germany and Conte in Italy didn't receive Wang Yi, which proves that the French state is really in bed with the CCP. France is like the USSR without the gulags. We have no free elections, no free press, no freedom of speech, a unique party which is hidden behind many parties who all agree on Marxism. We have no independent justice. We have unions who are Marxist and who block the country every once in a while. We have the highest tax in the world, maybe, and 57% of our GDP is run by the state. We also have a Marxist mandatory education and many dissidents on trial. The French people are trapped, just like the Chinese people are. They are trapped in a communist system that they never voted for and that only brings destruction and despair. But the pandemic woke up some of us, and now we are more and more to be willing to say no to the CCP and its collaborators. The CCP lied, and over 30,000 French people died. That's why we need to unite our efforts, the Free Chinese and the Free French, and join the other free people around the world. Whether their government is already fighting with the CCP, like in the US, in Australia, in Japan, in Taiwan even, or in India, or whether they're collaborators of the CCP. Communism needs to be destroyed once and for all in China, in France, and everywhere in the world. It has caused too much damage, too much suffering, too much destruction. Together, we can do it. With the help of God, Donald Trump will be re-elected President of the United States. And the USA will help us all establish a democracy in our countries, just like they did in the previous World War. When the CCP will fall, China will change to one of the worst countries on the planet to one of the best countries on the planet. When the CCP will fall, all of its collaborators around the world will fall too, and France will be a much better country. The Chinese who want to bring down CCP remind me of the French who wanted to bring down Vichy and the Nazi regime which occupied France. And Miles Grow remind me of General de Gaulle who liberated France. I wish him the same success. De Gaulle had BBC. We have internet. De Gaulle Free France thanked Churchill. Today's Free France thanks Donald Trump. The Chinese Communist Party has declared war on the whole world with this pandemic. France lost a battle, but did not lose the war. This is a world war. Make no mistake about it. In the free universe, immense forces have not yet fought. One day, these forces will crush the enemy. China is a great nation. The Chinese people are a great people. I know that China and the Chinese people have been held too long hostage by the Chinese Communist Party. And I know the hour of liberation is near. We need to take down the CCP. Take down CCP. Vive la France libre, vive le Christ Sauveur, et vive la Chine libre.